Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we have had a little bit of a changing of the guards. We swapped Garrett out for a game. It's going to be Toby joining us. But the games are still going to go on as normal. It's going to be round 8 coming up shortly. Back on Sanhok. I mean, all 15 games are going to be on Sanhok. But, Toby, you've been watching the first 2 games so far. We've already talked about our kind of impressions and expectations. Do you have anything else to add to those?
I just want to say that I like the way you talked about adapting for news in this particular game and what you talked about in the interview. The fact that so many more people, as compared to yesterday, they're going center, not only gives themselves a bigger chance, but also kind of gives the people on the edge a bigger chance, because even though it's cramped, it's chaotic, there's still a little more wiggling room out there on the edge of things.
But on the counter side of that, if you have more people going dead center, if the people on the edge have to work their way in, they're going to be in a little bit deadlier of a position facing off against those obstacles already dead center.
True. So we do have the full scoreboards, and even though the gap has closed, the top 3 are still in a significant lead, still in the same order. In fact, there's actually still a pretty big gap between 3rd and 4th, but it's not Shiyu in 4th anymore. Yasa actually is able to springboard herself up. Lele, who got 2nd, is in 6th. I'm looking to see Nui. She's in 13th, so a good number of points that gave her a jump start, but she's going to need to continue to perform at that same level if she does want to get to the top 8 at least.
Yeah, and so what this leaderboard tells me is that a lot of players that were maybe on the bottom half did very well in this last game, not allowing too much of a shift, but sort of making up that difference between maybe 48th place and 20th.
Sure, yeah, it's all kind of evened out. It's not, in what you're saying, the middle group jumping up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of everyone in the same tier, but being a little bit closed in together with a couple of changes here and there, which honestly should be expected more often than not. But the whole elephant in the room of those top players going out so early. Toby, do you think it has anything to do with the fact that more players are going center? It's not so many people hanging out around the edge or in the blue anymore?
It could be. I mean, honestly, we saw Sunny yesterday. Every time she saw a compound center that she wanted, she would go for it. She would kill whoever person was in there, and then she would be all by herself for like 3-4 circles. Now you get that 1, that 2, maybe 3 even competitors more in the nearby area. Make one foul step and you can't be taken out. Yesterday wasn't the case today. Much more quite so.
Well, we are going to see how that all works out. So many top players going out early. I don't know if they were watching the kill feed or if they were just so streamlined focused in on themselves. Certainly after today, they're going to see what happened from this game. But as far as moving from one game to the next, I can imagine that a lot of these players are playing very selfish in the sense of their own awareness, not exactly tracking the leaderboards, because it's 48 people. You can only do that so much. You can only do so much math in your head about how far you need to take it to get to the next rank up. But the aggressiveness that these top players, or at least a number of them, have been pushing, it really is going to be put to the test right now. Because as you said, Toby, they're not alone in the center anymore. There's going to be a lot more contesting. It's actually pretty spread out. It's actually a pretty even spread on the map that you can see throughout the last game. It's not the flip side of yesterday where everyone would be in the center. It's actually pretty evenly spread out. Do you think, Esquire, that some of these players at the top, if they're going to be able to kind of adjust their expectations?
I mean, I don't really think so. I think the top players, they got to continue on. They had a bit of I guess, a slip in the previous game, but that's the one they get, right? We're at that pretty much the halfway point of the tournament, and they have to have the exact same performance that we saw in day 1 and the beginning of day number 2 to continue that stretch, to continue to climb up the leaderboards and secure those spots.
Well, the real question is that this game, I think, is going to be the game that you want to look for is how quickly can these players adjust? Because yesterday, Sunny especially, but also Tanya, Majesty Charlie, Shiyu, they all got away with stuff that they didn't get away with last game especially. Maybe the first game a little bit, but even then there was a lot more pressure on them. Will they be able to make an adjustment from immediately game 2 of the day to the 3rd game of today, or is it going to be a little bit slower, and will that gap slowly start to close until tomorrow?
I think they will. I mean, they will have to. They need to make those adjustments. You can tell that all these other people, they have. I mean, they might not have been able to do it from game to game yesterday, but going back home, watching over videos, we talk about some of these players that come into competitive play with a lot of experience, maybe not from PUBG, but they're sure as hell making those adjustments coming into today's place. And yeah, it will be harder.
We got 5 seconds until the plane has yet another liftoff All 48 players are on board, seatbelts strapped in, tray tables put into the upright position, and I am going to take another step back. Toby and Esquire, it is all on you.
Thank you very much, Cameron Davis. And here we are, game number 3 of the day, game number 8 of the tournament. And with that, let's go ahead and get it underway. Up here from the northwest and down to the southeast we go. And it's going to be not too rough of a plane path for these players to work with. Again, it's kind of hard to find a bad plane path on Sanhok. One of the 4x4 kilometer maps, you can pretty much stretch out, find wherever loot location you want to go to, and make your way there.
I think what's going to be interesting here is that even when we have planes that fly over the southwestern island, not too many people like to go down in the area of Sami and Camp Charlie. So now that the plane goes elsewhere, maybe they'll be like, oh, let's go far away from the plane because they'll be easier for us. Maybe that can actually attract more people. You see quite a few actually flying down in this direction. But of course, we know Painan is the stopping point for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, the biggest downside of those 2 western islands up here to the northwest and down to the southwest is the fact if the circle ends up shifting over towards the east, where the biggest landmass of Sanhok is, you have to cross those extremely deadly choke points, being that river that cuts down, at least favored towards the western side of the jungle.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky if that's going to be the case. We'll wait a few more seconds until the circle's going to pop. But as you can see, Painan once again center of attention. And Terran having found herself Yasa in the open. I don't think Yasa has anything to work with here.
No, this is Terran's bread and butter. She loves to drop up here in Hot 10, and the circle will be popping as well. And Terran with the QBZ spotting out Yasa, trying to land those shots with the iron sights. One nicely placed headshot will do it, but she's not able to find it. The window of opportunity has closed, and that is going to be Yasa back into safety.
Did Paleolite just kill herself?
You tell me, Toby.
She did. There was no vehicles, but she just died. It must have been, I mean, it's so early. Okay. I just thought for a second she was going to die there too. But I think it must have been a parachute thing, right? You would think so at least. But anyway, May in the house here, one of our top leaderboard contenders, squaring up in Painan.
Yep, My2 going to be holding this stairwell right now. Smile Queen knows that there's someone in this building peeking up. No helmet to her name. One nicely placed shot will do it. But no, Smile Queen has the aim. She's got the pressure, and down goes My2 to the M416 of Smile Queen. The second kill here of game number 3 of the day.
Look at this news. Winning last game with a starting 7 kills. Trying to see if she can do more here. Davy, though, up real close in the compound. She must know for a fact that there was one more landing here. I think that's why you see News playing extremely safe on the backside of the compound, knowing nobody's going to push this from the open, even though the circle has included us. But she wants to make as much room for herself for Dabby not to come up too close.
Yeah, in solos, it's so important to keep an eye on your surroundings during that parachuting phase, making full well that you know where your enemy threats lie in the general vicinity of where you're going to be looting up. And that's going to be Nuis, our victor of game number 7 of the tournament, game number 2 of the day, spotted out by Dabby Young, opting to sort of play the patient route right now, holding the shots until she knows full well that she has the opportunity for the right side of the tree, though. It's going to be Nuis spotting out Dabby Young, putting out the pressure, forcing Dabby back inside of the building.
Ladies in hand, can it go through this window? Nope, she's falling on the backside of the building. She knows exactly where she has Nuis cornered. Doesn't have anything to throw with, though. I think Nuis also just threw her only nade in hand, but should be well aware that she's inside the building. Now the question becomes for Nuis, does she really want to take this fight, or should she potentially just make a run further in? She's on the very, very far southern side of the circle. Could potentially get herself a better spot by leaving this one open.
I think if the fight played out, this would be playing in favor of Nuis. She said in her interview she loves to run and gun. That is the style that she is used to playing. She's not so used to all the camping. So wide out in the open, this battle is not going to be disengaged from just yet as Dabby repositions, trying to get a new line of sight, and Nuis also going to be dropping down behind the rock for some cover. They're not out of dodge just yet.
I see Lele up in the northern side there as well. Could potentially become a threat for whoever wins this skirmish. Sitting out in the open. We talk about Nuis not liking to play the camp game, but she sure is doing the best of what she got the rock there. Oh, I believe she actually spotted Dabby as well on the other side of the rock. On the other side of the compound, make that, sorry. See Dabby? Trying to see if she can spot through the planks here, but now she gets up on the other side.
Nuis going to be peeking around the right side of the rock, knowing full well that Dabby's position is known here, and she is going to be trying to exploit that with the QBZ prepped and ready, just the iron sights to work off of. But if she has the opportunity, she's going to be spraying down, not yet seeing her, making sure to peek both the left and the right side of the rock, not giving Dabby any window of opportunity to gain the upper hand.
We saw how well Nuis played the end game last game. One little step step at a time to get the max out of every single angle. And here she's doing the exact same thing. Not overstepping, not doing anything wrong. But did she spot or did she not spot Dabby cross the road? Now she hears her. She's back up on her feet and must know that she's over on the other side now.
Yep, Newis will continue to peek around the right side of the rock, possibly not expecting the fact that Dabby has crossed. Sanson in the kill feed. SKS shot on the Lady Aseta will be picking that up, but we do have another player starting to enter into the general vicinity of this battleground that has been taking place for the better part of the early game. Miss Gucci spots out Dabby, takes her down to 50% HP with the QBU, now swapping over to her assault rifle. This is going to be dangerous for Newis. She has to now worry about the threat off to her left-hand side over to the west.
That rock is only going to grant you so much cover. You see Hella is making her way up, and Detka is going to be coming up in just a short while as well. It's a very centered compound. We're talking about a lot of these people adapting and changing up their strategies. We know this compound is center, and therefore, of course, many people will be around here in the early game.
Miss Gucci continuing to look around up here on the hill, not spotting out these threats, but this extra added threat to Dabby will be forcing her to try to get a different position. Will it force? No, Newis going to be spotted out. Miss Gucci up on the hill immediately after Newis gets the kill on the Dabby. It is a cascade of dominoes here in this general vicinity, and it's going to be going the favor of Miss Gucci.
Issue there being she simply did not. You saw all the time, every time Dabby had a chance, she would reposition herself, trying to constantly be in the elements of surprise advantage, but unfortunately for News, not quite the case. Stuck to that rock for a bit too long. And what is that? We see Doozy riding a scooter. That's not something you see too often. Miss Gucci probably as surprised as we were trying to land some shots onto water, but not quite happening. And the little scooter will continue to make its move on.
And here's the thing, Miss Gucci probably thinking that scooter is the slowest vehicle here on Sanhok. And some nicely placed shots could have taken Doopsy off. Unfortunately, the window of opportunity was a little too small. But over here in boot camp, right on top of each other, going to be Pauly once again caught in these early game situations. And she's trying to spray down, putting out a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. She's going to be turned on by Yamroll, taken down with the M416.
What a reaction play coming in from Yamroll right there. I love to see Vendetka in the water. That's as camouflage as you can get out here. Actually, Zaki now as well. Is she underwater?
It's essentially, she's as above water as you can get. When you go first person, it looks like you're underwater.
God,
but she will be spotting out Saki now. They're going to be spraying her down, but she's spotted out as well. But the quick turn comes out from Vendetka, able to take down Saki in 42nd position.
I've never seen anyone use this position before. This is very, very, very new to me. She couldn't. I don't think she could use her meds there either. You can see she's not able to get any of them off. And actually, nope, she doesn't have any either. So we'll be fortunately able to
so you aren't registered as being in the water, at least in the form of not being able to use your meds. It's all going to be good here. Continuing on for Vendetka, a nice use of position here in the jungle to pick up that kill. But Anakin, she's going to be rolling up the mountain here, spotting out Mamataso, going to be spraying her down, but now giving away her position. Was it enough? Is the pressure going to be applied, or will Mamataso be able to turn it?
And looking at where these two players are, they're very, very far out. Anakin making the run up now. She had some good shots earlier, but it's going to be Mamataso. Really, really, really great shots coming in from her. Had the rock to use with, or to play around with, and they will be able to get herself the kill. Unfortunately, maybe get some meds up for the two.
Yep, dropped down very low, not wanting to use that coveted solo first aid that she was able to pick up as more and more action continues to erupt around the map. Tumai going to be taking down Sanson in the kill feed as Rachel tries to maneuver this island out in the middle of the river. A dangerous place to be if you got to move.
Yeah, I talked to Sanson about it too, and she's like, I have to rotate all the time, but that's what happens when you land ruins, when you land on the outskirts. If these circles don't grant you the odds of being in, you do have to make those runs, and they can sometimes become very long. And not only do you have to run far, but you also run into unknown territory. And there, unfortunately for her, did get taken down. You see Roxy here on the other side of the riverbank as well, as having spotted out Charlie. Could potentially be a kill coming her way.
Majesty Charlie continuing to hold on the position on the rock. No helmet to her name as we shift over here towards the north. It is going to be Yasa. She was able to evade Terran's shots early game, and she's going to be spotted out. Mask here from North America with a QBU, able to utilize it to Yasa's detriment, taking her out of the game in 39th position.
Going full Sanhok in a weaponry. QBU and QBC, two very, very powerful weapons, showing us exactly why she decided to pick up those. Nanomiya having most likely spotted out Kira. At least she has a pretty good indication that somebody's down in this area of the map. She still needs to push forwards. Kira is not inside the circle yet either. And you see Corina with the VSS, not a weapon we see used too often on this map, but we know it can be quite silent and quite deadly.
Yeah, which actually makes it one of the more powerful weapons on Sanhok. Sometimes, actually, we do see it played out in competitive play, and we might see it destroy through players here on the map as Doopsy picks up a much-coveted AWM as well as that level 3 kit to boot. It's going to give her a bit of an advantage in these 1v1 scenarios as we continue on here in game number 3 of day 2. But it's going to be Nono Mia over here on the southeastern side of phase number 2, which is currently closing out about 1 minute and 15 seconds until that blue zone will meet the edges of circle number 2, and more so show us where the landscape of the battlegrounds here in game number 3 will take place.
Oh, look at this. Oh my lord, Charlie! What a well-connected shot. Sunny was down to low HP, made it look real James Bondish with the flying around on the jet ski, but holy cow, what a shot connected by her right there.
Yep, that's the 1-2 punch coming out of the AKM. Majesty Charlie from Germany has had a hell of a tournament here so far. She had an off game the previous game, but she's coming back with the quickness, with the fury, as Hella going to be spotted out by Cacao, but Cacao turns it around, and she's going to be able to spray down Hella with the AKM, taking out Hella in 37th position here in game number 3.
Fortunate situation for her. You had Hella prone down the animation to get back up on the knees, just a little off time there, and they get a little advantage point coming in for CC. Now Nono Mia, she has been around Kira for quite a while. None of them still to be inside the circle. Kira will, though, have the upper hand should Nono Mia decide to continue forward alongside the rock formation here.
Continuing to push forward, running full speed, going to be giving away her footsteps to Kira, trying to peek down above the rocks. It's just a matter of time, spotting her out, trying to spray her down, and not able to get the shots, but ultimately able to find the headshot on the Nono Mia, taking her down and out of the game, picking up Kira's first kill here in the game number 3.
I like the transition she did. She peeked out, she hit the rocks, that's unfortunate, but immediately go back to cover. Gotta keep having the surprise element, because essentially all you can see from the bottom of there is her head, and 2 shots to the face would have been a guaranteed kill for Nono Mia. So smart play coming in, despite the fact that she missed the first couple of bullets there.
A lot of players still trying to maneuver the blue zone here in phase number 3. About a minute until that shrink will start to happen, and the circle has shifted down south, as we have Cacao now trying to maneuver her way through Paradise Resort, where a few occupants are already lying in wait. Lele inside of the building, off to her southwest. Needs to be careful. Doopsy and Miss Gucci as well off to the northwest and northeast of this compound. If a battle erupts here, it is certainly going to draw the attention of the 2 players up to the north.
I talked to Miss Gucci, and she said to me today, Toby, all I'm going to do today when I see a new circle pop is go center. And she's right in the middle of Paradise. She does have more people to work with there, but as you can see, has a lot of room to do so for herself as well. Queen, or Smile Queen, up here on the, down here, I guess I should say, on the southern side of the circle. Still has a few people around her. Mamataso is the nearby area, and Charlie finally making the run around the Boot Camp River. As we see Vendetta, the compound could potentially become a threat in just a short moment's time.
Yeah, so things starting to at least calm down just a little bit. We've gotten through the early game commotion here on Sanhok, and now it's going to be sort of everyone trying to thread the needle, trying to find those optimal rotation routes to secure a more favorable spot inside of phase number 3. Paradise Resort still looking absolutely incredible if you're able to make your way there, but it's not going to be easy, as Little Big Whale might be feeling how difficult it's going to be. Spotted out by Kira, trying to spray her down with the suppressed QBZ, lands a hell of a lot of damage, dropping her down to about 15 HP as she now faces off against the blue zone, able to quickly get that first aid off, but will it be enough? Her position is completely exposed, and she's got to make the rotation out as Kira continues to hold these angles.
Not only does she have to run through, but also stay on the right side of that blue zone. It's very, very hard to see through. Oh, what a nice combination of shots coming in there, unfortunately. Not a whole lot of them connected. Does manage to get some damage on through. Molotov will be thrown as well. Things just probably Kira's safe on the backside, but you can see none of them actually really having a clear sight on each other. It's very, very hard on this patch to see through the wall of death, essentially, the blue wall, yeah.
An excellent Molotov coming out from Little Big Whale right now. Not intended to do damage, but intended to zone off Kira from that tree, trying to push her out from cover, not allowing her to take the easy peeks to land the damage, as Little Big Whale tries to think, where am I going to maneuver myself to get out of the lines of sight of Kira, but also out of the blue zone damage, which is now starting to enter into that phase where it's not going to chunk you, but it's taken way more damage than you want.
Yeah, considering that she only has 2 bandages and 1 first aid to work with, she's very much dependent on either getting some kills here early on or getting a nice circle shift in her direction coming into the next one. Only 30 seconds to go, and you can see she's still burning through her bandages. this is going to be a hard push for her. Kira is awaiting her. Katarina in the compound just to the west of her heard all the shots fired down here as well, so she'll be anticipating people coming in from this area of the map as well.
Yeah, very small window for Little Big Whale to sort of maneuver her way through to get into the safe zone, but she's going to start pushing off in the distance right now as Kira makes that rotation off around the eastern edge of the circle, dangerously nearby to where one of the North American representatives, Sminty, is lying in wait inside of the shack, just waiting for a player to cross her path as the next circle pops. Phase number 4 going to be hard shifting over to the eastern side of the circle. And if you are on that eastern side, you're loving what you're seeing. But this is going to tell Kira, maybe I need to get inside of this shack. But does she anticipate that Sminty will be there?
Most likely not. We'll have to see. Sminty, of course, is going to be able to hear every single step coming in from Kira. And Kira, with all the focus centered around the southern side down towards Whale, we'll have to see if this confrontation turns into be more. I like the area that we're going to now. Even though it's an eastern hardship, there's so much cover. There's a lot of compounds too. So a great place for people. Even though they're far out, they will have areas to work around. Now for Terran, though, still being far out on the northern side, has Mask up there as well, and she is going to go down. Mask once again lighting up people with the QBU.
And this is the strategy that Mask was teasing. She said she was going to switch it up and it would be noticeable, and it's going to be hanging back in the blue zone as now Doopsy with the AWM that she was able to pick up spots out Miss Gucci. One nicely placed shot to the dome will be taking Gucci out of the game, but opting in for that patience, opting in for the perfect opportunity without giving away her position is going to be Doopsy as she continues to advance up here in to phase number 4. Just continuing to keep an eye on her enemies, waiting for Miss Gucci to stop. Misses her opportunity though, not going to be landing the shot and now giving away her position. Gucci hears the shot, knows that an AWM is looking her direction, and that's going to be sending Gucci into cover.
Really glad to see her not take that shot earlier. It does have something, I mean, there's a bit of a mental aspect of it. You don't want to fire too many bullets too often when you only have 20 to work with. But now shots coming in return, that's to be anticipated. We're this late in the game. Once you start firing, people will hear the shots and they will react to it as well. Cece, so you're down here having spotted out Doopsy. Wow, well-connected shot there. Down to low HP with the level 3 gear even. Going to be a hard play for her to leave this rock.
Yeah, going to be a body shot connecting there onto Doopsy, at least saving the health of that level 3 kit as she does pop out the smoke grenade, trying to get some cover. That smoke grenade, though, giving a bullseye for Kakao to rain down grenades on top of the position of Doopsy. Doopsy merely maybe 5 HP or less, trying to do whatever she can to get a bit of reprieve, to get those meds rolling, but Kakao knows that the damage has been applied. She doesn't want to give her opponent any chance to try to recover off of this.
Once again, we saw it earlier as well from Dabby. Extremely smart plays coming from CC here too. Immediately, once she knows that she has the opponent prone and not be able to do anything, reposition yourself. Get into a better spot to get that element of surprise back in your favor. She knows she's somewhere inside the smoke. Just a matter of time before they fade away.
Yeah, second smoke being popped right there. The smoke lasting a little bit longer, but the window of opportunity for Doopsy to run up. She doesn't expect Kakao to be inside it, even with that level 3 kit. It is not going to be enough. A second kill going the way of Kakao here in game number 3 of day 2, as well as that beautiful AWM.
Insanely smart play from her. The fact that she is actually still alive here is insane to me. She landed southwest, rotated up towards Terran in Hartin on the northwestern island, made it over the bridge, and is now inside this circle. Though her next circle going all over towards Miss Gucci. Once again, being center, it pays off.
Yep, she is certainly going to like where she was, kind of hedging her bet, getting inside of the compound, and yep, the circle gods are in favor of Miss Gucci here in game number 3, but will she be able to defend that compound? Will she be able to keep enemy threats from pushing up? As Sunny up here on the hill, a great migration has to happen from the western side of our previous circle, and it is not going to be easy for anyone over here trying to make their way out of Paradise Resort, which earlier in the game was dead center. So the bets have not paid off, and it's going to be Smile Queen from China spotting out Little Big Whale. A rain of damage coming out from that M416, 5.56 rounds finding their connections. And here's the aggressive play around the right-hand side of the rock. Will be finding the down and the kill.
Great concentration, great plays coming from Smile Queen there. Knew that she had the damage done and knew that she needed to push on it. Even though Little Big Whale could be shooting in return, she knew she's got to be forced to stop and medding, taking her out in the action right there. Shiyu will be taken down here by Civ, and Karina getting on the action now as well as these teams start making their rotations in as the circles come so close. This is going to be such a rough rotation for a lot of these players. Look at the roads. Everyone, with the exception of three players, will have to cross at some point soon.
The blue zone is certainly going to be moving in, and it is going to be doing a lot of damage at this point in time as Majesty Charlie, one of our top players in the game, picks up her 4th kill here of game number 3. This is the steamrolling train of Germany's finest. Majesty Charlie, absolutely insane here in this tournament, and she's going to be continuing on here, doing whatever she can to advance her position further and further. Now going to be spotting out another threat. Down goes Sminty. AKM spray, finding that headshot connection.
She's absolutely insane. What a force to be reckoned with, and nobody really found the way to stop her. Even though she gets third party, you see immediately finds cover. She's playing it so concentrated, so smart, and there's no wonder in why she's the top fragger in this tournament so far.
Absolutely, but here we are, phase number 6 in full effect. The circle continues to go east. It has been the mantra of this circle time after time here in this game. East, 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 east. And these players have not been able to easily make their way there, except for possibly Miss Gucci and Majesty Charlie, who has now been gifted a crate as well. She's going to be picking up that level 3 armor, possibly a nice, powerful gun to boot. And if you were on the map in hindsight, if you're watching the VOD, you'd know full well that is not what you want Majesty to be picking up here if you're trying to get that first place.
Not at all. Interesting thing here is also the fact that we lost. Oh, Helen. Can you land the shots needed? Kopatnam has spotted her as well. Fight around the rock, and that's going to be the kill coming in for Helen. Great play right there. Knew she had it on the rock at some point. Used the audio cues and played it to perfection. But interesting thing here is the fact that Tanya actually went out in 40th place with, I believe, just 1 kill. We still have Sunny. We still have Charlie in the mixture. They could now make the stride off and get their way further in and ahead of Tanya.
Certainly they could. Phase number 6 going to be closing out right now. About 20 seconds until our next circle. Circle number 7 will pop, and it's going to be Elizabeth spotted out. Sunny takes her down with a quick spray from the left-hand side of the tree with the M416, picking up her 2nd kill of the game and continuing to charge on as Miss Gucci inside of that central compound will be spotted out by Cacao with a nice headshot coming out from the AKM.
I mean, people say it's chaos. People say it's impossible to know how to play these Sanok matches in solos. There's a reason that we're seeing Sunny. There's a reason that we're seeing Charlie, and also Cece. She's been doing really well lately in these late games. They are just playing extremely well. We talked about them using strategies. It's going to be harder. Sure, it's going to be harder, but they're still pulling off insane numbers. 6 kills for Charlie this game so far. Could potentially be 8 coming into the end of it.
It sure could. She's got 2 more opportunities. That level 3 kit, the pan as well. She is armored up and ready for battle, and is now going to be throwing out that zoning pressure, trying to anticipate where her remaining 2 threats will be here 22 minutes into game number 3.
Her main issue right now, I think the reason she was hitting with that pan was, oh no, I have to cross the road. She saw the circle pop, but she's going to be miles out in the open. Sunny, what a spray control coming in for her right there. Spotting out CC now as well. She has the AWM picked up, and you know, it's just 1 shot to the face, and if there's one that's capable of landing him, not going to happen. Sunny, what a way to clutch this one out. This is going to be her 3rd victory, 2nd on the day.
Great game coming out from Sunny right there. Once again, you can tell that she's happy, but also controlling those emotions as she picks up her 2nd win of the day. Not her 2nd win of the tournament. She has picked up multiple chicken dinners, and she's going to continue to climb up those leaderboards.
3 wins. Sunny now takes the lead in number of wins, and what's most surprising is that it came right off the back of her worst placement performance so far. We were talking about, will it be enough? Will these top leaderboard leaders, can they pick it up after having a really bad game? And Sunny comes right back and just says, you know what, I'm still fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You see that confidence as well as that cooled emotion put on display there, because nothing seems to have frazzled her.
Well, that's the thing. She's calm and collected when she wins, but also when she goes out early, she's able to keep that mental stamina going, resetting it, not letting it tilt her and affect her performance going forward.
Yeah, this is kind of looking ahead a little bit, but I'm curious to see. I'm going to be curious in the future if that maintains, because this is 15 games. This is a really big endurance test. We touched on this yesterday, but playing 15 games in a competitive environment like this, even though it's only 5 a day, and I say only with like heavy quotation marks around it, it's a lot and it's a big strain. And so we're going to be looking at not just Sunny, but all of these players, but especially the ones at the top with the pressure to maintain that position, to see how they continue to perform. That's more of a conversation for tomorrow, but it could still come into play for the last 2 games today.
Already, I mean, we talked to some of these players even after yesterday's game, coming to say, "Oh my God, I'm so exhausted. It's so hard to play at this level because the concentration." One thing is they're used to sitting and streaming and chilling and doing what they want to do, take the breaks when they need to. Oh, if I get a bad game in PUBG, I can just go play another game to get back happy and then play again. You can't do that here. You got those 15 minutes to go get your drinks, go need to do whatever you want to do. Then you got to start playing again.
And looking at this game in particular, for Sunny especially, this is the way that the circles reacted in this game was way different from when we've seen in previous games, whether Sunny won them or not. This one wasn't a center fest like the previous two games were. We have the highlights in front of you right now, but the circles here were incredibly erratic, but not even erratic in a way that it kind of balances out. It went as chaotic as possible, and Sunny, who we've looked at being someone who goes dead center and waits it out and picks off a number of kills while being there, will still not have to move too much. She could still perform at the top level while having to move.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sunny is just playing her A game today, yesterday, throughout the entirety of the tournament. And if you're one of the 47 women out here in the tournament besides Sunny, you gotta be fearful as to what type of performance she can continue to put on here at the beautiful Divina ZOWIE Women's Invitational PUBG Tournament.
One thing that I'm extremely, not surprised to see, but actually just impressed to see is not only how well she fights. You saw right there in the end of the game, I believe the second to last kill, 150, 100 meter like spray down with the M4, 3 bullets, boom, 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 straight on the body. No like recall whatsoever, just complete control of the weapon. But not only that, her rotations, she plays it so insanely smart.
Yeah, so one of people's gripes with Sanhok is how the hills work. You have very little vision, but that it's kind of a double-edged sword, or I guess a double-padded foam bat.
It's something, Cam.
It's a double
something.
It's something with two sides to it.
You aren't able to get as much control when you're looking in your duos and a squad's perspective, but as you said, Toby, Sunny's been using this limiting of line of sight to her advantage at an incredible level where she will not be spotted by someone if she doesn't want to be, or if she has literally no other choice.
And it plays into her map knowledge as well. Like you sort of alluded to early on, Cameron, the circle took us to a spot where we have not been yet in this tournament, far off east of Paradise Resort. It comes down to how well you know the map, how well you know the terrain, and how you can play off of it.
At the same time, though, Charlie also putting on a good performance, was taken out by Sunny at the very end, but a third place is going to be good for her to kind of keep just at Sunny's tail.
With that many kills, too.
Exactly, that's the thing. It's not like Sunny's been taking out different people in the late game each game. Like, Charlie's always there, and so that's got to be a little scary to Sunny.
For sure. I mean, Charlie just seems to be a player that she'll recognize that opponents are there, but she just instinctively starts spraying them down, and she'll hit those shots. Same thing as Sunny we see. She will just land those shots picture perfect. There's no chance for them to do anything about it, and therefore most of the time she'll get out of the combats with full HP, making her ready to immediately engage in another fight should it happen.
好，这边谢谢解说为我们带来精彩的分析。这边再一次恭喜 Sunny
Once
再
again,
一次吃鸡了，还是一样
we
老规矩
congratulate
请你们的
Sunny
镜头跟大
on
家
taking
打
another
个招
chicken
呼。
dinner.
大家好，我是
Say hi to
Sunny
everyone one more
好，
time.
这个应该是从昨天 solo 赛开始以来第
Starting from
3次
yesterday's
吃鸡
solo
了吧
match, you've had 3
哎
chicken
当
dinners in
中
total.
哦有一个桥段，我们看的是非常的惊险哦，是在这个天
There was
堂
one part
度假
that
村的
was
时候
really
当
exciting.
时大概有超过10位选手就
Around
躲在这个
Paradise,
度假村的里面。
there
那
were
突然间
several
下一
players
个
there.
白圈呢是往右边刷了，
And the
所以把
circle
这个
went
防
in
区
the other
全部都
direction.
刷出去了。当时我看到
You
你
guys
一走出
were
防
out of
区
the
的时
area.
候呢，是马上就击倒了右前方的敌人。
You
你不会
immediately
担心
took
说
down
你
the
这个
target to your
枪声
right.
可能呢会把四周所有敌人引过来吗？
Weren't you afraid that the gunshots were going to attract a lot of attention? No, I wasn't worried. I have to
那
make
你
sure
知道
at
当时
least
附近有
I
很
was
多
safe
人
in
吗？
one
你有收集
direction.
到这些情报吗？
Did you manage to find a lot of
是
information with that play?
当时我们
No,
看
she
到的
wasn't
时候
sure.
特别的紧张哦，然后有一些老乡朋友还开玩笑说，你这个
Some
呢
of your
来之前
friends
应该是拜过行天宫，不然
said that you
没有
probably
办法
prayed to
这
the
么
gods
平平
before you
安安
attended
地
this
走出
tournament.
那一片野区。
没错。
是，好，那这边想要了解一下，虽然说
We
刚
would
刚
like to
这一场
understand-
顺利吃鸡了，但是呢，在前面一场的比赛好像
Just
有
now,
一些
even though you were
状
able
况
to
可以
take the
跟我们分
chicken
享一下
dinner,
是怎
but
么
in the
了吗？
previous round, you didn't do
简
so
单来
well.
说
What
就是
happened?
走位的失误啊。
哦，走位的失误是不是？好的，那没
The
有关系。
direction,
那
the
目
path
前
that she
呢，这
took,
场再一次吃
she
鸡
made
之后，
some
我
errors
想
along
你
the
应
way.
该还是这个总积分排行榜第一名，再次
I'm
再立
guessing
好
you're
不好？
still first place
谢谢
right now.
好，谢谢
Thank
Sunny，
you for
那
the
我们就
interview.
把现场交还给解
And
说
back
老
to the
师。
panel.
Everyone makes errors.
For sure.
It's understandable. In a game like this, even in other games where it's a one opponent versus one opponent, you can make it. The best team can make an error. The best player can make an error. When you're playing against 47 other top-tier competitors, the best player here is going to make multiple errors, but just having the confidence, having the mental fortitude to come back from that and not get tilted by it is the sign of like a true champion, a true competitor, a real top-tier player here.
And it goes back to that elementary school teaching. It's okay to make mistakes, but how are you going to bounce back from those mistakes? How are you going to pick yourself up and continue on afterwards?
So here's the scoreboard from the previous game. Sunny, of course, in the lead because of the 120 ranking points and the 4 kills, but just behind her, tied for second, 4 points only behind her is going to be Charlie and Cece.
This is the third game that Charlie doesn't win, but get a second place off of kill points. Just goes to show, right? I mean, one thing is that you might not get the finishing chicken dinner, but she's way up there just those kills alone.
Consistency through and through
For sure,
Charlie.
for sure.
But Sunny just continues to dominate it, and it's unfortunately not giving Charlie that separation or that boost up on the leaderboards that she so desperately is wanting and almost earning.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot more games to work out. Charlie can get one win. If she wins the next game or even the 5th game of the day, who knows? She may actually be able to take the first spot ahead of Sunny, because even though Sunny is getting better placements on average, the kills from Charlie are really spiking up.
And it sort of makes me ask the question, will we start to see some of our top players on the leaderboards hunt out the other top players, try to take those 1v1s, certainly not in day number 2, but as we progress into day number 3, where the action is going to be a little bit more tense on the leaderboards?
See, that's so difficult, though. Because when you see people do hot dropping and all that stuff, or even just sort of camping rotations and squad matches, you only have to worry about 15 other teams, and you generally know where they're going to drop. You can't do that here when there's 47 opponents in the lobby, I don't think. Because, I mean, Sunny already mentioned in a previous interview that she changed her drop spot. Like, oh, I'm familiar with it. I'm just going to go there. It's so easy. You were never sure where you're going to be. And so in solos, I can't imagine that you're really going to be able to sort of counterplay a specific opponent.
One main thing in that aspect is that we know Charlie always drops Painan. If there's one place there's no reason at all for Sunny to go near early game and risk randomly getting shot in the back because she doesn't pick up a weapon immediately, that would be one of those places, right? We talk Bootcamp, we talk Ruins, we talk Paradise Hotel. Painan would be number 4 on that list.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what happens the rest of the day. We have 2 more games left. We're going to go to a break, and we will be right back here at the ZOWIE Divina Women's Invitational PUBG Tournament. Go get a snack and come on back.